losing battle.
How is it a losing battle when there's people
I'm
standing up
going
for
to
this?
explain to you how it's a losing battle. If I come into your house and it's your house, right? And you're in charge of your house and you want me to leave your house and you're in charge, meaning you're President Trump, I have to listen to your rules. So right now he's in charge of this country.
Okay,
And we
but
have to
we're
follow
also
his rules.
citizens of the country in
see
which
how you don't make any
this
sense?
is a democratic process in which we can be
You-
dissatisfied
you-
civilians.
You're not making any sense. You see what I'm saying? Like if I came into your house and I didn't want to leave, like what the hell is that? Like
Because
seriously.
it's not just my house. It's not just Donald Trump's house.
It
This
is.
He did
This
an
is all of
example,
our
big dog.
country.
Come on now.
I'm giving you an example so
Oh
you
my
can
God, he's not like he's literally. This is not his country. This is all of our
when
country.
Biden was in charge.
Calm down.
We voted
Calm
Trump in
down.
charge. We wanted Trump to do this.
Oh,
Yeah, that's how democracy works.
So
Democracy
you can
works.
be a leader. Okay, you can use.
Do you
this
ever
weird
just
personification
quietly
of
learn something?
America as a house.
I'm just trying to
And
let you learn something, man. I'm giving you an example in a small
Okay,
example.
so let me retort to your example.
No,
then.
don't do that. Don't do that.
No, let's
Don't do
retort
that.
to that
I didn't
example.
finish my sentence, and you keep cutting me off.
No,
So don't-
Moderator?
It's like I get what you're saying. I'm
you
saying
don't.
to you, I get. I'm not. It's not that I don't understand what you're saying. My retort back
Menace,
to you is
do you
that
have a mod?
Donald Trump is
I don't
not
have
the
a mod.
only person who lives there. I also
You need
live
one.
in that house. So yes, there's multiple people who live in that house. A whole country of fucking people who live in a house. And yes, those people also have a voice in a democratic
And that's
process.
why we voted him in.
Democracy to say, hey,
Wait,
I know
stop.
that you as our world leader don't
Can I
like
talk,
something.
man? Can I
Wait.
explain something to you?
We don't have a dictator.
Can you? I'm being very polite here. You just keep
Go ahead,
cutting me
man.
off.
You're not. You're not being polite because
I am. I'm not even yelling at you.
Like no, what you're saying is that
Okay,
just
listen.
as you're dissatisfied when Biden was in charge.
No,
or
listen,
whoever
listen.
is
Like,
in
if you're not gonna
charge.
pull a mod, just please remove me. I don't want to mess your algorithm
No,
up.
you're not. You
We're
can
talking
talk.
about-
too,
leave.
buddy.
Who's talking? Go ahead.
Every-
Whoever that was. go
Everyone
ahead.
can talk.
Whoever that was.
anyone
Go ahead. Was
can-
that Tinman?
Yeah, go ahead and
Or
talk.
was
I'm just
that
saying.
Hard
I just wanted to finish this argument with
No,
this
wait.
guy.
I added two new people. I haven't given them a chance to talk yet. One of y'all could go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
I just want to say I studied law. I have a miniature copy of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. And the point of the 14th Amendment was used to citizenize slaves and children of slaves. Then it was taken away and bastardized later on to allow anybody that comes into this country that has a child citizenship. Not what it was meant for.
By
It
the
taken
Democrats.
it was taking everything that the African American, the FBA community had built in this country, and giving it to everybody else. So the point that bothers me is that everybody wants to say Republicans did this. No, this is all a Democratic push
Yes,
because a
it
lot of
was.
those Democrats
Yeah.
were
What
trade partners with the
conversation
East Atlantic.
is, sir.
Sir, I'm gonna let you chill. The East Atlantic Trade Company were the ones, or the East Atlantic Indian Trade Company were the ones mainly predominantly ran by rich people in a certain class that fell under the Democratic Party.
Yes.
They didn't want to
you're
lose
right.
their work. They did not want to lose their workhorses, and that turned into the whole Democratic Party fighting for everything that slavery was.
Yes.
We
You're
we
telling
we
the truth.
push we push further to Lyndon B. Johnson, a
Yes.
Democratic president that said, "I'll have these N words
For
voting
200 years.
Democrat for the next 200 years."
Mhm.
How is the Democratic Party not racist?
Yes,
I'm
exactly.
a libertarian.
So
I'm not
I
a
think
Republican.
yes, I agree with you.
I'm not a Republican.
It's going to blow your mind.
or a
I'm going to agree
Democrat.
with you. I'm going to agree with you that there are Democratic. There's people who are in the Democratic Party who are racist. I can name a number of them. 100%. I'm not talking about that. I am not talking about or averting any accountability for any Democrat. Nor do I say, as I said before, not all Republicans are racist. I didn't. That's a weird thing that I have to keep defending
No.
to like protect somebody.
You don't have to keep defending it. That's the
But like,
thing,
this is
bruh.
what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. It's like I'm not. What I'm saying is that I and many other people are saying like, hey, yes, there's these antiquated laws that people have abused both in both parties for a very long time. that we need to look through a due process. We need to look through by like passing more laws and legislations that protect Americans who are already here, the education system, our like economy, our trade
wait,
deficit,
stop.
all of these different things.
Are
Like,
you saying
I'm
that
saying
illegal
what-
immigrants aren't getting due process?
That's
do
what
you
he's
not-
saying.
Or do
I
you
am
not
saying
like the
right
due
now-
process that
I'm
they're
saying
getting?
right now that we
He doesn't
are,
like the due process.
Yes, I am saying right now that there are the abuses of immigration law. So just like not just due process, just immigration
What
law, like
immigration law is being
students.
abused?
Okay, so say for instance the students at Columbia who was deported or had their
Oh
citizenship.
no.
Does,
You're
does the
so wrong.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio have the authority to revoke someone's visa?
Using your power in retaliatory use.
Are
does
you
not-
kidding me? Are you kidding me? Have you seen what happened to Trump for the last 8 years? Are you kidding me? Retaliatory? Are you serious?
Yes.
Are you
yes.
really
I got a
seriously
question.
saying
You
that?
didn't answer the question.
Yes,
Does he have
because
the,
the thing
does
is,
does he have the
he's
ability to
all-
remove someone's visa or take it away?
Absolutely.
Yeah, just like slave owners had the ability to be slaves, just like people had the ability to like
They
completely
get all upset when
gentrify
you start
America,
confusing the
or
issue with
they have
facts.
the ability.
Yeah, they
to
don't- they
use
don't even-
laws.
They don't like that at all.
So wait. So you don't
redundant.
think it's right to be able to remove someone that's
Do you
here
think?
illegally?
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Stop.
Let me ask
Do
you
you
all
think
a better
it's
question.
right
Do you
that
think
it's
that
okay
he's
to
doing
remove
it
someone here
perfectly?
illegally?
Let the,
I have a question.
Let me ask you this question.
Do you
We didn't
think
even
it's
hear
right?
you.
Do you think we can remove someone that's here illegally? Do you think that's right? Yes or no?
Yes, I think that it's okay to remove somebody who's here illegally. if
okay,
they're-
What are
then
you
then you
talking
have
about?
then you're not talking about anything.
I am okay. Dog.
You can't be
Apologetic and
you can't be
argumentative.
contradictory.
You know what? I feel like like this is an echo chamber. You know what? If
No,
you
no,
guys
we're
not an echo chamber.
You're the one that keep
It's
on.
not
You
an
just
echo
said
chamber.
that.
We're
You
listening to
You
you.
agreed
it's
with us
cool.
You're not
just
listening
now.
to anybody else.
No,
You just said that
what
we
I'm saying-
could be allowed to remove someone here illegally. You agree with that. But when we actually do it, you don't like it.
Yes, because there's false pretext being used as saying
On
that
you.
he's an MS-13 gang member.
No,
Saying that he has
Okay, so the
a
tattoos
stop.
on his
tattoo on his
knuckles
hand.
don't mean
Okay.
anything.
Let's say he
Oh
wasn't.
my
Let's say he
God,
wasn't an
dude.
MS-13 gang member. Let's say he wasn't an MS-13 gang member. Was he
But
here
that is
illegally?
like that is like the
No,
cause.
stop.
That's just what I'm saying.
Was he
This
still-
is like
That's
you can't just say somebody's a gang member and then use that as
no,
a term
just
to deport somebody.
listen to my point. If he wasn't here,
No,
if he wasn't an
this is
MS-13
weird,
gang
bro.
member,
Like, why are you
was he
using your code?
still
That's not what's
here
happening
illegally?
right now.
Was he here
Huh?
illegally? Was he here illegally?
God, there's a lot of people here illegally, dog.
And
Like,
they're
it's
getting
not
them all
arguable.
out. They're getting them all
Okay,
out.
and
So
what I'm
what's your
saying
point?
is that what is the pretext of what they're being saying through the executive branch? What is the actual speaker of the executive branch is saying? What is people saying that is representing Republicans is that this person is an MS-13 gang
And he
member. They have
is.
MS-13 tattooed on their hand.
Where,
And he does.
stop. Where did he get that from?
Oh my fucking God.
Where did they get that he was an MS-13 gang member from?
Just God Almighty.
Well, they
I-
have gotten some informant that has not been named or given any context of who
No.
exactly are because
No, you're mistaken. I'm sorry. Let
It
me
was
tell you what
Judge
happened.
Kessler. Do you know Judge Kessler, the immigration judge? I'm gonna say it again. Judge Kessler, the immigration judge at the time that was in charge of his case, said that there was enough evidence to say that he's a part of MS-13 and that he
Okay,
could
what
be
is the
and that he
evidence?
could
What
be
is the
removed
evidence?
from.
That's what I'm saying,
Okay,
like,
one of the
there's no
things.
evidence
One of the thing was like
presented.
some of the people that he.
There's
the
no
people-
evidence presented.
The
What was the
people,
evidence? Can
he
you
was
give me
found with
evidence? Cite the
MS-13 gang
evidence.
members. He was found with
Hey, man.
MS-13 gang members.
Evidence, dog.
You don't ever let anyone talk, man. You don't ever
Cite the
let anyone.
evidence.
Was he
You can't
found?
talk like that, man.
Was he
you
found
can't
with
have
Cite the
MS-13
evidence,
gang
dog.
members?
As a question,
Was he
cite the
found?
evidence.
He was found with MS-13 gang members. He had the money. He had the money in his pocket that had the eyes and ears crossed out, which is the stuff that MS-13 gang members use. The judge said that they had a credible informant that they have used many of times before that said that they trust to say he was an MS-13 gang member. When his case was appealed, the second judge said that he was an
hearsay.
MS-13
No,
gang
you
member.
just like you like this is what you're saying.
This
that
is the
there was
judge.
A
He
single
had due
informant,
process.
unnamed
When he
informant.
went to court,
think-
No pictures.
he went to
There's
two
no-
I think
separate
we're wasting our
judges.
time. I think,
Was there pictures?
He was
I
on
think
the-
we're wasting our time.
He went to
we're wasting
two
our time with
separate
this guy.
judges, dog. He saw
Menace,
two.
Menace.
No.
That doesn't mean
Hey,
anything. Like, oh
Menace,
my
this
God.
guy
No.
is worthless, man.
Bro. So
He
I
is so lucky I'm not a mod because I would have deported his ass already.
if he was,
Yeah, this guy-
I got a
this
question.
guy is
if he wasn't,
worthless,
if
man.
he was a part of MS-13, can we still kick him out? Yes or no?
If he was a part of MS-13,
If he was
yes.
not a part of
If there was,
MS-13,
if there was given actual
stop.
legitimate,
If he was
citable
not
evidence,
a part of MS-13, like not a part at all, had no connections to MS-13, are we allowed to kick him out?
we are allowed to. Correct. Yes.
Because he's
But
a
What
legal
are you talking
immigrant.
about?
Okay, but what is the pretext of why?
Oh my God, this
what
guy
they
is-
say
Oh my God.
is?
This guy is a waste of a whole conversation, man.
Okay. I understand
it's
that. I
entertaining.
think that I
It
think
feels
that
like
we
he's
can all have.
filibustered, if anything, out. It doesn't seem like he's giving a good faith argument. Because first he say,
No.
first he
There's
say,
no debate.
oh, these old laws that we have are wrong. And then he said, yeah, I agree, we should be able to kick him out. You just spent like
Menace.
5
I
minutes.
did. What I'm
You know-
saying
you
is
know-
that there's laws that exist that
you-
people can use to use deportation
Asylum.
as an are antiquated. Yes. So there's not a contradictory statement.
So they didn't.
dog.
You don't have to-
So we didn't. There was nothing illegal done. We followed. We gave them
you
due
guys are
process.
unentertaining.
There's something not registering with you. Like honestly, you're not understanding things, man. Like seriously, there's something wrong with that guy. Like honestly, he's not registering information. Like there's information being presented to you, and you're not letting it register, and it's a waste of conversation. In all actuality, if I'm in charge of the house now, and I have rodents in my house, and I have bunny rabbits in my house, and I want the rodents out of my house, I'm gonna get rid of the rodents first. The bunny rabbits that are legally there, they're gonna be leaving too, but the rodents gotta go. You know, and in all actuality, the way that his argument is, it's just the same narrative that they keep pushing to just try to cause discourse with everything that Trump's doing, which is amazing. Like there's absolutely no evidence of him being racist. He's absolutely a patriot. He's born on Flag Day. There's so many wonderful things about Trump that he's done for this country, including these tariffs that are going to be wonderful. And in a matter of months, you're going to see the amazing outcome of this, because we're actually going to be able to have production in this country, and the GDP is going to be through the roof. But Menace, I do
I
appreciate
don't know about production. We were kind of screwed on production when NAFTA came around. I mean, I remember being 19 years old saying, we're not going to have any manufacturing in this country. We're so screwed. We're being sold down the river with NAFTA. And all I got was, shh, the OJ trial is on.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. You're right. No, you're right, though. He's right. He's right.
Wait, stop.
That
Yo,
was a
quick thing. Future 3131. What's up?
Yeah, you're right, though.
How you doing, man? I'm 53. I'm from Alabama. I voted for VP Harris
You
Oh,
voted for
my.
Why you voted for Harris? Can I ask that?
Because
because
he's
I'm
told
a
to.
immigrant, and I never take sides with the Triple K on the Republican side.
I got
Never.
a question. I got a question for you. How
Do you
many?
know the
how many
Democrat-
of the Triple K people will you consider are still around today? Like millions, hundreds of thousands,
Millions.
tens of thousands.
Millions of them.
You said there's millions of people that's KKK right now.
Yes, sir.
Why do you say that?
Millions. Because you don't. Because if you don't. Because you're not wearing a hood around in broad daylight and terrorizing people at nighttime doesn't mean you're part of an organization.
Okay, I got a question. Do you say that the people that say, "Oh, we need illegal immigrants here. We're not giving them a pathway to citizenship, so we can have people that could pick our fruits for cheap." Do you consider that as part of the KKK?
No, sir.
Why don't you consider that as part of the KKK? Having a second class, have a permanent second class citizen that you use for like cheap manual labor.
And votes. And votes.
Sir, I'm willing to bet you a house note. You can't find one illegal immigrant voted on a federal level, sir.
Oh, stop.
Oh, yeah.
No, wait. Let me
Mistaken.
explain it. Let me explain it. They don't. Let's not say they don't directly vote. I'll give you that. They don't directly vote. But when you increase the population of people with using illegal immigrants, you give them more electoral votes, right?
Yeah, electoral votes. Yeah.
So they get represented. They get more like they said that if you remove all the illegals from California, they'll lose about 2 or 3 like House or Senate seats, right? No, House seats. So
Yeah.
they don't literally like cast a ballot to vote, but they get a vote because they get more representation because of the illegals that come over to that particular state. When they try to pass the law that said we're gonna ask people their citizenship status when we do the census, they said that they didn't want to pass that law because states like California wouldn't get as many votes.
What
You
about
know
state-
that future. You're also under the false belief that the Republicans are the racist party when you don't really know your history and you don't really know that the.
Sir, I know more history than
No,
you
no,
probably, sir.
I'm just telling you, you don't, because if you did, you wouldn't have said that. Because honestly, the Triple K was created by the Democratic Party. The
Yes,
Civil
sir.
War. The Civil War was. Hold on, I'm talking. The Civil War was fought because the Democrats did not want to let go of their slaves. Like, let's be honest here. The
Okay, then.
slaves ran to the north, which was Republican. The Republican Party was created in a small church in the South, and they were created and they actually had two black congressmen before they had the president of Abraham Lincoln. If you know your true history,
Okay, then.
so you've really been bamboozled and led astray by the Democratic Party, like so many other black people.
Okay, let me know when I can speak, sir.
I mean, you can speak, but you can also learn too.
Okay, then. Well, it's time to teach too. I can teach also
You
too.
can't
Just
teach
that part.
because you're
Okay,
wrong.
Why did Lincoln fight against the South in during the Civil War? Why?
To keep the Union together.
Okay, then, and the only reason he fought the
Are you
South
trying? Wait.
was-
Can I ask you a question? Are you trying to say that Lincoln freed the slave, or did the Emancipation Declaration
that's
because he was trying to harm the
that was
South?
The only reason. That was the only reason that Lincoln went to war with the South. Because he wanted to keep the Union together, and the deal was that he'd free the slaves on top of that. If not, he never would have freed the slaves, sir. Lincoln wasn't no advocate of freeing no slaves, sir.
No, I never said he was an advocate. I said he was the first president of the Republican Party, and I did not say that. And I actually, if you do know your history, there were thousands of white people that were called abolitionists that were fighting to free the slaves before the 13th Amendment came about. You have to really know your history, though. And they were
I
from
know
the
this,
north.
sir. I know all this.
Well, if you know all this, they were all from the north. They were all Republican.
Sir, I know. I don't know what you think you're trying to teach me.
Well,
But
I'm just saying. I'm saying, why, knowing all this information, and why are you still fighting so hard for Kamala Harris, who was trying to jail Michael Jackson, was trying to keep people in there in prison when they were not supposed to be in there, so they could fight fires, was trying to make people that were accused of murder, if I can say that, and they were accused of that, and they were proven to be innocent, and she would hold them in jail just so she could do that. And then she also has ties with the cartels. I don't know if you know that as well, but these are things you should know before you start defending people.
Okay, then. Okay, let me know when I can speak.
You can speak.
Okay, and thank you, sir. First
You're
off,
welcome.
what Kamala Harris done as a DA and a Attorney General of a state is nothing now another DA or Attorney General has done to people that was incarcerated, sir. Judges have done this. So don't go pointing no finger at one person and think she's the only bad person to do this.
Well, I mean, you're pointing the fingers at Trump. You're pointing the
Hey,
fingers at
let him talk. Let him finish. Go ahead.
I'm not talking anymore.
Don't go pointing no finger at one person when the whole justice system is being corrupt and been like this for years. Black people have suffered up on our judicial system in every state, under every DA and every prosecutor to ever work in that position, sir. So
Okay.
don't point no one finger at no one person.
Okay,
And
well,
I'll say she's a bad person.
okay, well, listen. To add to that conversation that you're having, and I hope you're not taking this the wrong way, but you do remember that her administration, as she became the vice president, her administration, which was with Joe Biden, who was also known to be cool with David Duke, and also was the one that wrote the crime bill, and also promised all these things for black people. The whole 4 years didn't do anything. Before that, Donald Trump actually freed thousands of black people with the First Step Act. If you do know your history, no, I'm just saying the people you're defending are actually against. The people that you are defending were the people that actually caused mass incarceration and kept that same thing that you hate. They perpetuated it. So my question to you is still, why did you defend people that really have no interest in you, but just using you as a token?
Sir, because the reason I vote for people like that, because when I looked at it, We
I
had
don't
a
think
black
you heard what I
woman-
said.
We had a black woman reported to the Supreme Court by another Democrat for some reason. We had a House
Wait,
leader.
quick question. Who was the black person that was already there? I believe he was appointed by Bush.
Yeah,
Terrence,
Bush.
Terrence, forgot his name. Clarence Thomas, right? Wasn't he black?
Clarence Thomas.
Wasn't he?
Yeah, and Joe
he's-
Biden attacked him the whole time. Joe Biden attacked him and tried to get him out of there.
I know.
Joe Biden hates black people.
Just like every Republican during the confirmation hearing, Miss Jackson say that she wasn't educated to be in that
Bruh, they
position.
asked her what was a woman, and
Oh,
she
She didn't even know what a woman was.
She couldn't
didn't
answer
even know
what was a woman. I got a question for
Like-
you. Hey, yo, quick thing. Future 3131. What is a woman?
My wife sitting in the room that had my 4 kids.
Now, but what is a woman though?
What is
What is
a
the
woman
definition?
in general? What is a woman?
I don't know your definition of it, but in my definition, it's the woman sitting in that back room back there that had my kids.
Would you consider is that? Do you mean
Because
adult
I know-
human? Do you mean
know,
adult
she
human
only wanted to
female?
give birth.
Do you mean adult
Say what?
human? Do you mean adult human female?
Okay.
If that's your definition of it, that's your definition of it, sir.
Would you consider that as an accurate
I
definition?
don't understand why is this a real genius question to ask
No,
someone.
because-
No, stop.
When a-
No, you said that the Republicans were saying that she was like dumb, right? That was the question that they were asking her, and she couldn't answer that question. It's a simple answer to the question. It's obvious. That's all.
Yeah.
Who would
That's
lower
just,
the intelligence level to ask a dumb question like that? Answer
it's
a dumb
not
question like
it's,
that.
Bro,
not
how
a
is
dumb
it?
question.
It's not a dumb question
but it's a
at the
simple
time
answer.
when people say, "What is a woman?" They'll say, "A woman is anyone that identify as a woman," and they'll say, "What is that they're identifying as?" And they'll say, "A woman." Now, then they'll say, "Define woman without using the word woman," and then the person was like, That's why they asked. That's why they asked that question. It's a
The-
simple,
minute-
easy
minute-
answer question. It's a layup, but because
XX
of her,
affirmative.
Yeah.
Get two intelligent people in a conversation and be one the question that's asked to each other.
Well, my thing to you is my answer to that real quick is a woman is a woman that has a womb in their stomach that can give birth to a child. A person that has a womb and their physical body is made so that they can actually give birth to a child. That is a woman. They have a womb. It's in the word. And you can't just throw on a wig and say you're a woman. I can put a wig on ET and he's not a woman.
Any man or woman with some common sense would know the difference, sir. But like I said,
bro, stop.
But there's nothing common about sense.
Wait,
That's the whole
stop.
Yeah,
Currently,
exactly.
currently, right now, they're saying that the T's
George,
are
you're
women.
right. George, you're right, George.
Yo,
George,
future,
you are right.
future. Do you consider the T's as women? The Transformers,
T.
the transmissions.
Yeah, the transmissions.
if they weren't born outright by Mother Nature or God with the woman generic makeup, no, I don't consider them a woman.
Okay, then
Thank you. Then you
I
have
agree with you
common
on that. I
fucking
agree with
sense.
you on that. We have found
Right.
common ground on that. But that's the question that she couldn't answer because she didn't want
Right,
to answer
so-
that question because of how her party would attack her if she said the correct answer.
Exactly.
That's why they question her
placating to her
intelligence.
face.
I just wanted to get that out real quick. But go ahead, continue. My
Can I
bad for
say-
cutting you off.
I just want to say one more thing real quickly that a lot of people don't realize the agenda of the Liberal Party has moved and shifted all the way to a fascist organization that resembles the Smazi organization where they destroy countries from within by causing this kind of confusion about gender and all of that. And it also, when you talk about the Margaret Sanger and Planned Parenthood, that is actually meant to actually destroy historically the black race. So it's like I don't understand why black people were so behind the Democratic Party when it was right in their face that these people were trying to create genocide and stop generations from being born.
I can answer that question for you.
Can I speak?
I can answer
Oh,
Real
George,
quick.
George, go ahead and
rebuttal
say
to
it.
that? Can I
Future, hold
rebuttal
on.
to
George
that?
is talking. Hold on.
I can answer that question for you. Give a man the illusion of freedom, and he'll fight to the death to protect his cage.
Absolutely.
We draw lines in the sand that could easily be washed away by the tides, yet they stand as long and as strong as mountains because that's the way that we make them, because that's how we were taught to do it. We are divided by sexism, racism, politics, and just straight up divisionism. And we've gone so far from center that common sense is treated as an affliction, not a life choice.
Absolutely. That's amazingly. That's so profound right there.
Let me ask you something, brother. Since,
Absolutely, George.
since you've been a
W for that.
mega, since you've been a mega supporter, sir, when is I'm gonna see y'all guys representing the mega voters?
You
I'm
know what?
doing
You
it
know
right
what?
now.
You know.
No. I'm talking about the cabinet position.
I don't even know. You know
I
what?
got a question. Who was
Go ahead, Menace.
what is it? The
I
department,
asked
the
you
department
something.
of urban,
I asked you
the department of
something.
urban development. Is he not black?
Yes, exactly.
The
The
person,
lady that's in charge of the people getting pardons is black.
Pardon. Everything that do with Donald Trump got to do something with black folks that going to jail.
No, stop.
Are you kidding
Whoa,
me?
stop
Yeah.
right there. The first
Yeah.
step that helped freed a lot of black people. The person,
Yeah, I
the
already
head of
said
the
that.
Department of Urban Development is
he's
black.
the first president to ever free somebody. He's the first president to ever free somebody, right?
Biden is the
I just
one
don't
that
think
wrote the crime bill, the '94 crime bill.
I don't think.
I'd like to touch on something that Future said
on whose
earlier.
behalf, who asked the Democratic Party to write this bill?
Are you kidding me? Like, do
Yes,
you,
yes. Let me laugh
what
along.
you're
Let me laugh
saying.
along with this.
you don't even know what you're saying. Like, honestly, that was Trump that did that. Trump is the one that freed black, non-violent offenders, and so many people
He's the
came
first
on.
president to ever do that,
I
right?
got a question.
Yes.
Do you know who this brother is?
Or he the first president to ever do that? That's what I asked.
I got a question.
I mean, I don't-
Do you know who this person is?
Let the guy answer the question. Don't speak for him, sir.
No, stop. This dude's in Trump's cabinet. A black guy.
He's
I know
actually an ex-football player.
NFL football player played for the Cardinals.
You just said that there's no black people in his cabinet, and that for some reason that's supposed to be a big thing about it. Like, come
Hold
on.
on, George had
You
something
mean
to say.
tell me you take
George,
one of the smartest
hold on,
men?
future.
You take one of the world's smartest men in medicine, and you take him out his field and put him over hood, and how do he benefit people?
Okay, look, future. Hold that
I
thought.
just asked you a question, so I know
said
you
he
didn't
was
answer
a-
my
he was-
question. I'm talking to the other
We're
guy
talking
now.
about that.
Yeah.
Who we talking about? I forgot.
Future.
You talking about the same
Ben
person?
Carson.
Hold
Oh,
on.
yeah,
Ben Carson.
Ben Carson.
Ben Carson, one of the smartest human beings to walk this earth. You take him out of his element and put him over HUD housing. How do
He's
he
not in charge of HUD housing.
his profession?
Ben Carson's not in charge of HUD
I think he
housing.
did that.
Not now, sir. I know this. I'm talking about doing Trump first term.
That didn't happen, sir. That didn't happen.
Okay, what was Ben Carson was the only black Trump administration his last go round, and what did Ben Carson fit in at?
Can I ask you a question, though? Can I ask you a question? Because George wanted to say something. But can I ask you a question?
You can't never answer the
Your
question,
party.
but you-
Hold on. Imagine I gave you the keys to my car. Like, I gave you the keys to my car, and you drove my car. And then when I found out about my car, it was wrecked. It was destroyed. Okay. And then someone comes along and gives me my car back after it's completely being repaired, and I start getting mad because they're repairing my car. That's what you guys sound like. You guys are the ones. You guys are the ones that destroyed this country.
You can't talk.
Hold
for your
on. You keep over talking. I'm saying you guys are the ones that destroyed this country. And then you guys are sitting here saying that you're mad that someone's fixing the country. It makes absolutely no sense. But George wanted to say something, so hold what you're saying. Let George talk.
I can give you a better example than that real quick. Okay, Detroit, 1943. Hiroshima, 1943. Detroit, 2025. Hiroshima, 2025.
I asked you a question, sir, and you still yet to.
What's your question?
What's that have to do with anything?
No,
It's
stop,
all
stop. Wait, my bad.
Democratic-run cities.
What was your question?
I asked you. You take one of the smartest men to walk this planet. He's a neurosurgeon expert, and you put him over HUD housing. How do that benefit his profession?
No, he should have been the Surgeon General. Absolutely.
Thank you,
I
sir.
agree.
Thank you.
I could give you that. I'll give you that. But the thing
Okay,
is,
then for the fifth time.
But you got to understand something that happened in the first administration, and actually Carson asked for that position. Ben Carson asked for that position.
He deflecting.
How
Go
am I
ahead.
deflecting? If someone asked for that position, that's what he asked for.
He didn't.
Like,
you
felt
think-
that's
you
where
think
he could
Ben
do the
Carson
most
asked for the
good.
Position, sir.
You're
Bro,
being crazy. Like,
what
if,
was- Ben
if I
Car-
come
Ben
to, if I
Carson
go
wasn't
to a
like-
restaurant,
what was he, a senator or like on some governor or something?
He was nothing.
No, he was a
the head
doctor. He was
of
just a
HUD.
doctor. He was a doctor that was running for
he
president.
wasn't. He didn't have a political office before he was the head of
No,
government.
no, he didn't. But the thing I'm saying, Menace, is that think about this for a second. If I go to a restaurant and someone gives me a menu of options, I'm gonna pick what I want. You guys are mad. You're mad, Future, because he chose to do that. That was his choice. He wanted to help the black community in their housing. He felt that that's where he can do some help. And in all actuality, if you do know about that, what he did was amazing during the first term, because Trump actually gave him a blank check to do everything he wanted to do. And it was helping out. It actually made a lot of businesses thrive in the black community. You got to really know your research before you start.
I remember that, sir. I remember that. What was that? What was that thing he passed?
You got to really know your information before you debate people.
Yes, I do. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm finna answer the question for you. See, I'm
Well,
not.
how is
afraid.
that a bad thing, though? I just don't understand it.
Okay, then. Can I ask you a question?
But
I'm
sure.
gonna ask you a question. When Trump signed in, I can't think of the name of this bill. What it was about the houses, not the houses, but the business opportunity in the black neighborhoods, sir.
Opportunity
Not
zones?
one. That's it, sir. You're sure right. Not one corporate America or international business invested in these opportunity zones. Not one.
We could just Google
Not
that. Right
one, sir. Not one. Walmart, Feline, Nike, Apple, Amazon, Tesla, not one corporation in this country invested in an opportunity zone. But you know what did happen, sir? Do you know what really happened, sir, to the opportunity zones?
Go ahead.
Land
Go
sharks
ahead.
came in there.
Go ahead.
Land sharks came in and brought a lot of this property up and raised the housing and the business for people to go in and try to open up shop, raise the rent on these shops and homes in these communities. That's what happened, sir.
They ushered in gentrification.
Well, but like I say, so other than Trump freeing or letting some black folks out of jail early, was he the only president to do that, sir? I asked you that question, you yet to answer.
Was he the only president to do that? No, he wasn't the only president.
Thank you. That's why I wanted Map to say, but Map can't answer that question.
I got a question.
Map can.
I got a question. You said you voted for Kamala, right? What did you
Yes,
what did you
sir.
want Kamala to do for you? Why did you vote for her? I
Sir,
think
I don't
you already
know-
answered that.
I
vote.
don't-
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
I don't want no president to do shit for me because I'm able to manage and do it on my own, sir.
Then why did you vote
Now,
for Why did you vote for
people
Kamala?
not at for. Why did I vote for Kamala? Because I know if Kamala would have got in office, she was gonna put some African Americans, some Latinos Americans, some Asian Americans, and some white Americans in the right position to help out the people that lives in America. It wasn't gonna be no 95% white Caucasian men running this country. It wasn't gonna be that.
I got a
This is
question.
a diversified
She was
country.
being
I
told
got a
by
question.
her.
What did
Yeah, I know.
Kamala
It's like-
under
it's
the
crazy.
Biden and Kamala administration? What did they do so good that you would wanted to give your vote to Kamala?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good question.
First off, they recovered the country. They recovered the United States recovered faster than any other modern day
What?
country in this country when it came
sorry.
to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Okay,
We recovered faster.
Stop. There were states that were locked down longer than other states. You can't say the whole country recovered up faster. We have Florida that was led by
I didn't say
Republican
no
Governor
individuals.
Ron
I
DeSantis.
said our country, sir. I said our country rebounded faster than any other nation on
What
earth.
you mean
sir.
by
that's-
what you mean by rebound?
Rebound? That means got our economy back up and running. Put
That's-
food in people's homes.
That's
and
not a
send
fact. Why are you lying on here? Like,
Then we
you
have,
can't
like, the
debate-
high- Didn't, like,
I'm
like,
lying.
wait,
I'm
20
lying. I'm lying.
Okay, when
I'm lying.
did you
I
say?
agree with you. I'm lying.
Stop.
Now tell me what country recovered faster than we did.
When did you say?
Well, first of all, Switzerland was the first.
Stop. Quick question. When did you say that the country rebounded? Like 2022, 2023?
2022, sir, we was
Wasn't we like at 9% inflation rate?
yes, sir, we was. But
That's the highest.
that
Isn't that like is that the rebounding having the highest
was not the
inflation
highest
rate?
in the world, sir. That was
I
not
didn't
the
say-
highest in the world.
I didn't say highest in the world. I said the highest for us.
What?
Before Biden got in, what was the inflation rate?
Look at your comments at the bottom, sir. Look what your folks saying at the bottom, but that what Future's saying.
Future,
All
that's
this is
true compared to the rest of the world. Yeah. Okay. What did?
Okay,
stop.
man.
I'm saying he said that. Okay. What was our
What about
inflation
New
rate? He
Zealand?
said it was
One guy.
9%. When did
One
it
guy
get
said
back
that.
down to
I agree with
normal?
Yes, sir. Listen here. Our country's in a total disaster. Our what's count rate went up to 9.4%. I think that's the highest it got. Within a year and a half of 2022, within a year and a half, it dropped from 9.4 down to 2.3.
Can I say something to you,
Wait.
Future?
How
I'm
did it
so
even get
sorry.
up there? When Trump was in office, it was at like 1 point something, right? That's what he gave.
1.7. 1.7.
Trump gave Biden 1.7. How did Biden get up to 9 in under like about a year or two?
Okay, then listen here, sir.
I can answer that.
Before Trump left office in
From the
2020,
U.S. aid and all the stealing.
golly.
Hey, yo,
Stay back.
let him finish. Go ahead, Future.
He's
Okay,
not
then.
saying facts.
When we got word of this pandemic that was spread in 2020, sir, even though the inflation rate was at 1.9, sir, when we got word, Trump went in there and Trump started printing money, $4 trillion in 1 year that was put out in the general public.
Something like this.
$4 trillion. Now, what do you think if American people all the people in America is all of a sudden hit with $4 trillion?
Menace,
hear
you
one
gotta
person
stop
in
letting this
America
guy
get
lie,
that.
man. He's not saying any facts. Like, honestly.
Okay. So Biden didn't give the people money either?
Sir, like I say, this guy doesn't want to hear me, and I was going to get to that point. Listen here, Biden is not my. I don't worship Biden. If Biden got some faults, I'm going to call it out. But I'm not going to sit up here and act like this guy Trump is a God gifted man.
I'm not saying he is. I just said between
Trump,
one
I'll
of
be
the
the first
choices
one
we
to think he's
had,
an asshole.
I prefer Trump. I'm not saying Trump is perfect. I'm not saying Trump is God's gift to me. I'm just saying, we had two choices, and I'm like, it was kind of obvious what the answer was to that test. That's just my
If
personal
you didn't-
opinion.
If
Anybody
you
who
learn
rises to the
anything
center
from
has
Trump
to
in
choose
20
between the
in
lesser of two
2016
evils.
to 2020, sir.
Well, it's not
he
even
was-
that bad.
Stop.
I say
Hey,
something?
go ahead, Future. Go ahead.
When Trump was first in office, and he destroyed a great economy. He got from Barack Obama. He destroyed.
That's what I'm saying. I gotta cut you off there. You keep lying. Like, that's not true.
Hey, no. You could just answer, do the rebuttal after he say what he said, okay?
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
He got a great economy from Barack Obama. That was in 2017. By the end of 2019, that's 2 years. At the end of 2019, the housing market went through the roof because Trump went in there and Trump started to with the housing market and put tariffs on the lumber from Canada. And the lumber in America shot through the roof. He tried to make a deal with the Saudi Arabia to cut down 2 million barrels of oil a day, and the gas prices went through the roof.
That's
That is exactly the opposite of how it works, sir.
no. It's like
supply and demand. The bigger the supply, the less the demand, the less things cost. That's why tariffs are driving down the cost of oil, making it so Russia can't continue their objective the way that they have because oil is one of their chief exports. That's just a little side note that we're getting from the tariffs that were put in by Orange Man Bad.
You know, and a lot of people don't understand. Like, at the time that Trump was in office, I was doing sales, and all we had to do was import things from China and from Taiwan, and the tariffs actually did make things worse for a little while. But once they settled down, we actually chose other countries to import from that were actually better products and much cheaper. And in all actuality, the economy was booming under Trump. The only thing that caused Trump to even spend money, it was emergency funding for the COVID relief. and helping out other countries as well. He was doing so many things with those insulators or whatever those things are called to help people
Ventilators.
breathe. Ventilators, yeah. And honestly, a lot of people, even Trump was skeptic. Even now, people are skeptical about whether or not like that was either a hoax or anything. Like, why the hell did we even have COVID? And honestly, when Biden came in, let's be honest, Biden had a great economy. If you want to argue the fact that Obama gave a great economy, Biden had a great economy and ruined it. And in all actuality, we got into a point where all he did was help out Ukraine, and he was also corrupted for being involved with Ukraine, with Burisma and a lot of other things that can be seen from the laptop from hell. And that was also another reason why Trump didn't win the election in 2020, because of the fact that they suppressed all this information. And we really do know the gas prices were soaring all through Biden's administration, all through the 4 years. He never helped anyone in Maui. He never helped anyone in North Carolina. He was only helping Ukraine. And there's just no facts that you're saying about how you're talking about the good things that they've done. And when you talk about Harris, there's absolutely nothing. She was never being seen the whole administration. And your answer is always going to be, well, she's a vice president. She doesn't do anything. There honestly was nothing being done. And everything she said was a word salad. There was nothing but a bunch of words jumbled together, and they never made any sense. And all you guys say in the Democratic Party, and I'm going to land my plane, all you guys say is, I hate Trump. You don't have any policies. And there's no choices for Americans that have common sense but to say, I'm going to go with Trump again because he did it right last time. And again, I'm going to say this again. Michael Jordan missed shots too. Like, no one's perfect. You know what I mean? Like, you can't keep scrutinizing every time someone does something wrong. People try things, they make mistakes, they see what works, and that's how they learn. That's how business works. That's how everything in the real world works.
Well, I got a quick question for you. You said, okay, you said that Trump inherited Obama's economy, right?
Yes.
Okay. At what point did the Trump's economy become did the economy he inherited from Obama, when did it become Trump's economy? Like 2017, 2018, 20, at what point would you say?
October 2018.
So you're saying around go ahead.
Everything that Trump put in place, every policy that Trump put in place when he came in office, it took effect in 2018, October 2018.
Okay, see, this is what I'm gonna say, right? I would say that like Trump was trying to do more than some of the stuff he did, because it was gonna take a lot longer than like between 2017 to 2018. Because first thing he had to do was like what was it? Well, I forgot my train of thought. Damn. First thing he was trying to do was he was trying to like cut taxes and like reduce taxes for businesses to incentivize them to invest in America. And then after he does that, he was gonna try to cut the prices of import oils for of energy, so we would drill, increasing the supply of daggone energy, right? But a lot of stuff he wasn't able to complete in the full term because the COVID stopped all that. The experts at the time, Fauci, was saying that we need to shut down the economy and close the economy. So if you're saying we need to shut down the economy and close the economy, that's gonna have a bigger effect when we didn't really need to shut down the economy. There was only certain groups of people that were like high risk that should have been quarantined and like people kept away from them. We could have kept the economy going like regular, but because we didn't have to shut down the schools because kids were didn't really bother unless they had pre-existing conditions. Like most people that was if you weren't overweight, had diabetes or any pre-existing condition, you was pretty much gonna survive. It had like a 98-99% survival rate. It was only the people it was mostly the elderly. So if we didn't shut down the economy and he was able to continue the stuff like the tax cut in conjunction with that daggone the lower energy demands, people will be able to invest in the economy more and have more people to help create a better economy. But the response to COVID, it was the part that would say kind of hinder some of the plans that Trump had for the economy. Would you agree with that?
Exactly.
Can I add to that real quick?
I want to see what he's gonna. I want to see his opinion. Then you could go. Okay. What's your opinion about that, Future?
Okay, then you guys got this real bad habit wanting to blame something on Fauci. At the end of 2020, before 2021 come in, how many people did we lose? Americans did we lose due to the C-19? How many do guess how many people we lost?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. But one thing you got to factor in, if you had COVID-19 and you was in a car accident, they'll consider that a COVID-19 death because hospitals gonna get more funding for COVID-19 death.
Yeah,
So
they were getting incentives. Yep.
but I don't know off the top of my head. But continue, please. I don't know. I don't know. But I said there's more. But it was a fact that there's more under Biden.
And I wanted to do
He
a
had
side
3
note,
slugs in his
but,
belly. He died of COVID-19.
yeah, that's what they were doing. And honestly, I just wanted to say this because I noticed that we're dealing with something that is a narrative too, where they say that he's fascist and all that. The only fascist I've been seeing is the Biden administration because they were censoring people. They were forcing people to get the vax. They were forcing people. They were actually calling people terrorists if they were not abiding by their COVID rules and all of that. They were actually making people in Minnesota, I think it was, wherever that guy that was running with, who was that guy that was running with Harris? What's his name? Waltz.
Yeah.
Waltz was walking around the street with police shooting people. They were shooting people with some kind of pepper guns and stuff, like making people stay in their houses. And that's all fascist. And I mean, honestly, that's what made a lot of Democrats leave the Democratic Party, because they saw that this is the one that's saying that they're fascist when they're the ones that are fascist. And you got to realize that it's okay for you to love a company like Democrats or a name brand like the Eagles. You can love a team, but if they're not doing the right thing, you got to say it and call it for what it is. Like if someone trades your favorite player, your team is not the team anymore. The liberals have gone way too far to the left, and they've actually done everything that they claim that Trump is doing. They're the ones that have done it.
Well,
They've actually fired people. They fired people because they wouldn't get vaccinated. My wife was fired. I mean, you got to be realistic and be honest when you say these debates. Like, you're defending someone that is a complete liar. The Democrats and Harris and all of them, and don't even talk about Hillary Clinton. Like, seriously. Everyone that she touches dies. Like, seriously.
What was the unemployment rate before C-19? Was it like 3.5%?
Yeah.
It was like 2 something. Yeah, it was not even 3 something.
It was 2 something, right?
It was like 2.7.
Do you think that had anything to do with the economy being shut down?
Unemployment rate never dropped in the 2s. Unemployment rate never. The lowest
It was 3 point something, 3.5.
Yeah, it was something. Yeah, 3.2 or 3.5. Yeah,
3.5 Yeah, that's what it was.
2 under Biden.
You got to understand. You can't.
Wait,
you can't.
stop.
You can't.
I have a question. Do you know under Biden that they're hiring a lot more people in the federal government just to bolster the numbers of jobs? And a lot of times they'll have the jobs report like a month later or a couple weeks later. They'll say actually those numbers were incorrect. Did you know that?
Yeah, and the crime rates were too. The crime rates were also being fudged. Everything that they were doing in the media and during the Biden administration was to make him look good. They even made the media have talking cards. They were only allowed to call on certain people. We were not having freedom of press. There was so many things that were bad. And if you don't see that, then you just truly...
If we were having freedom of press, if we was having freedom of press, why have the Trump administration kicked out 3 media at the press pool?
I know
Because
the
if you-
Associated Press wanted to say the Gulf of Mexico when it is called the Gulf of America. It is not the Gulf of Mexico. It is the it is the Gulf of America.
Because I call it the Gulf of Mexico. I never call it Gulf of America.
I haven't trusted the media.
It's the Gulf of
Malcolm
Mexico.
X told us in 66.
You know what I don't understand too? I could just say this real quick. Like, you guys are so, the Democrats are so like, everyone has a choice and they can be a man or a woman and all that. And then when Trump decides to change the name of something, you guys go crazy. Like, that's the same as being a transgender. Seriously, if you think about it, it's the same as being a transgender. And then also,
They're Transformers. This is
I
TikTok.
don't
Remember
understand.
that.
How do you guys
Transformers.
how
And
do you
then-
guys dislike transgender so much? But you
I don't dislike them. I don't
you
dislike
have so many transgender people voting
Formers.
for Trump.
No, no.
No, I
Okay,
don't.
okay,
I
okay.
don't have anything
I don't have a
against
problem with
trans.
the Transformers or the
You
transmission.
do because you're talking about it.
No, no,
You
no.
do.
My issue
No.
with the ideology about it. It's not the
Yeah.
individual people. It's the whole
But you
idea.
accept a vote.
It's no. I'm just saying my point. It's not the people. It's their ideology. If you want to live your life as a woman and you're like born as a man, don't try to convince me force me to say that. Oh, this is an actual, genuine, 100% female.
Yeah, but it's a talking point for you.
But do you understand something? Can I say
It's
something
about
real quick?
blurring the lines, man. It's as simple as that. They make everybody the same so we can all fit in our little boxes the same
Right.
way. That's
Yeah,
what it's about, and
Because
that's why.
if I was
it's
a
going
business,
the way
if
it's
I was a
going.
business owner, I would only hire transgender women because you get men's strength at women's prices.
Right. That's a funny joke. That is so funny. That is so
Let me
funny.
stop. But like, I don't really,
No, but-
I don't really care one way or the other about the transgender thing. It's just the ideology about it. And then the part where they started trying to bring this stuff to the school, they were having schools where they were, instead of flying the American flag because America's bad, they were flying like the pride flag.
Yeah, and to add to that too, that you got to think about this. Like when they started that imaginary pronoun thing, that started making people go berserk on TikTok. Like people were losing their mind. Like, how do you make someone have to have a pronoun? Like in all honesty, that is just insane. And the thing that they're doing is creating a division. If you really can see under the layer, if you just take a peek under the layer, they're trying to make everything be chaotic so they can actually bring down America. They do not want to make America great. That's why Trump that's why Trump was saying that, because you got to realize Trump is privy to classified documents. He knows things that we don't know. He knows that they're trying to destroy this country. He knows about Soros, and he knows about what he's done and what these kind of people do. These Marxist people, they try to destroy countries from within by making us fight each other, by making us be confused.
So you won't
Malcolm X was saying the
won't
same
consider
shit in the
Koch brothers
70s,
a part of
man,
that?
and nobody
You won't
learned
consider
that.
the Koch brothers a part of that?
Exactly.
Huh? You won't consider the NRA a part of that?
I don't really like the
The George
NRA.
Soros type people?
Bro, like, to be like me personally, I think we need to have get a lot of these rich people out of politics. You can't have like super mega donors. You can't have PACs and super PACs. The whole thing that said corporations are people too, I don't think that should be allowed. That's me.
Well, you
personally.
gotta understand, Menace. You gotta understand something though. You gotta understand the way this country is made now. The corporate America runs everything, and I do agree with you. Don't get me wrong, but the way that it's made now, if you don't have the money to pay for advertisement, if you don't have the money to pay for your like you said, the PAC. If you don't have money to pay for your PAC, like you're literally not gonna have a voice. You
Bro,
know,
I think at this day and age, with the development of social media and like stuff we have, we could spread our voice and spread
No,
our opinions
no,
a
I
lot further
agree.
than before without
that was
having
my-
to rely on like mega donors and corporate money.
Yo, I know. Listen, that's exactly my next point. My next point was to say that the way we have it now, like things like TikTok, things that are more free and allow you to talk to each other. But like I said before, the administration that was in here before was trying to eliminate things like this, allowing us the freedom to actually not need to have money to advertise or talk about our movement or whatever, and that was our strength. And yes, it's still here thanks to Trump. But
Let's get back to the illusion of freedom. Like America is a corporation, okay?
Absolutely.
Your birth certificate
is traded on the
is
market.
an account number. Your social security number is a routing number, and we are all livestock.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally know. I'm not trying to say it. Just I really know all that, and it's sad that a lot of
You're
people
starting
don't
to sound
know.
like a commie.
Yeah, he's actually he's telling the truth.
No,
though.
I'm a realist. That's,
Well, if you
that's my
listen-
fault.
No, if you listen to Bukele, like Bukele was attacked just like Trump, and he said the exact same thing about our Social Security and about the illusion of money too. The illusion of always being in debt and having to pay for the government and all that. Like when we can really just print the money, like money is just fiat. You know what I mean? It's not. And us as livestock is a fact. It's a fact. Like every time we're born, We are actively traded on the stock market and everything. Like,
Hey, Matt, but can I ask you a question real quick, brother? If you don't mind.
you can ask me anything. I'm not against you.
Uh, this Doge thing that's going on, where they supposed to be going and find waste abuse, and fraud.
Uh-huh.
And they supposed to find a couple $100 billion of
$2 trillion
this waste.
in like 2 years or so.
How much?
It was supposed to be
They want to. Their target goes to cut $2 trillion in like the next, I believe, 2 years.
yeah. Yeah, that was their goal. But what was your question, Future?
Yes, I know that was their goal, to try to find $2 billion
No, trillion. But
$2
yeah.
trillion for Trump tax law. Tax.
No, I don't think you know the whole fact. So the thing about it was,
Well, that was what I want to ask you. What I want to ask you is that they went there and found a couple $100 billion, and
no,
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask a question.
Go ahead.
and so far out of $155 billion they supposedly found, that Elon Musk team and that business that's conducting this audit, this whatever this, they have charged the taxpayers $130 billion for it.
Yeah, that's false information. I know where you were going with that. That's not a fact. That is not true.
How did they charge the taxpayers?
No, that they've been the Democrats, the liberal media has been saying that for the last few weeks now. They've been saying that it costs. First of all, it doesn't cost anything because everyone in the Doge team is volunteers. They're not being paid to do it. And also, I don't know if you know, yeah, they're volunteering. And Trump, yeah, they're not being paid to do it. Yeah, I don't know if you know that. See, Trump, the guy that works for Trump, actually had a meeting with Elon before it even was created. And actually, Doge was just renamed, if you know the real history, because it was something that was created by
Bill
Obama.
Clinton? No, it was Bill Clinton.
Obama actually started it. Well, Bill Clinton started it.
Yeah, Bill
but
Clinton had a thing where he was finding a whole bunch of
Obama-
people in the 90s.
Right, but Obama ran under it. When he was running for president, he ran talking about that. And it was just renamed to Doge, but it was always fraud. There was always a division created already. And like I said, everyone there is volunteers, so there is no pay. They're all businessmen that are taking time out of their business to help do this. And there's also people, there's a lady that is actually, I think she's deaf, and she does help that as well. Oh, is blind, I think, yeah, or something like that. And she helps out. And then, a lot of people don't talk about this, but Trump actually, again, is not being paid to be the president. So it's just a lot of beautiful things happening in this country that you guys are not being told because of the media you listen to. But I do appreciate the question.
I got a question. I got a question for you, Daggone Future. Do you believe that we should try to cut waste, fraud, and abuse? Like for example, a daggone Sesame Street for Afghanistan. Do you believe stuff like that we should try to cut from the federal budget?
No, I agree with you on that. If I knew this right here and I knew Biden was behind it before he became president, I wouldn't have voted for him. No way in the world.
So like,
Condoms find it weird that
Condoms to Great Britain, condoms to Russia, condoms to China. No, I never would agree with that.
do you believe we should be sending billions and billions of dollars to daggone Israel and Ukraine?
I want to get Israel a ward off the ground. I wish and I pray that everybody they keep bullying over there get together and go in there and kick a little tail.
Yeah, see, that's
Israel
not cool, man.
Netanyahu would not even open his mouth if the United States didn't back him. He'd have been out that office.
Future, can I ask you a question, Future, real quick?
Go ahead.
Okay, just imagine for a second that you are in a fight with someone, okay? And I keep helping you and that person keep getting back into the ring, right? And the whole time I keep helping you get into the ring, I'm selling tickets so that I can keep making money off of your suffering. Okay? That's the kind of thing that the Democrats are supporting because they are behind. They make money off of war. They make money off of their machines being sold to them, their weaponry. They get money off of also the aftermath of when they have to do the reconstruction at the end of it all, when it's planned for the years down. That by law, in every war, you have to rebuild that country. You have to help build that. I don't know if you know that as well. And I don't know also if you
You
do.
keep saying Democrats, sir. I'm trying to think of what Democratic president that sent us to war.
I'm just trying-
Wait,
I'm just-
what?
What Democratic president that sent U.S. troops to war?
Come on. now.
Obama actually unalived his own soldiers. Do you know that?
You talking about the kid that sided with the Taliban?
No. He drone.
Or a locker or something like that.
No, there's a drone attack he did. I don't know if I can talk on TikTok, but I don't know if you know he's the only president that ever actually sent a drone attack and it actually unalived American soldiers. But do you know that? No, you didn't know that.
There's one where he was like, it was a U.S. citizen, but they believed that he was part of the
that's
organization. You talking about that one or something?
No. There's actually 4 soldiers that were unalived by a drone attack that Obama did. Another thing that a lot of people don't
I
know.
never heard that, sir. I'm gonna look that up right quick.
Well, a lot of people don't know also, like I was trying to say, the MAGA movement is not the same as the Republican and Democrat. Okay, the Republicans, there's a lot of Republicans that are rhinos, Republicans in name only. And they actually are like Cheney's and all of those. Those guys, honestly, even Bush was a rhino.
No,
like
you're talking
these
about
guys.
those are neocons. There's rhinos and
Yeah,
neocons.
neocons.
There's different ones.
Well,
Oh,
yeah, they just want war. They just want war. They just want to make money off war.
So you're not paying attention. It don't matter to you. He just talking out his head when he said invading Panama, invading Greenland.
Oh, he never said
Wait,
invade anything.
stop. The thing about Panama, China was starting to get control of the ports of Panama. Do you think that we should allow China to control the Panama Canal?
That we built.
The Panama Canal was built by Americans, and it was
Yes.
given over. It was given over with paperwork and legal documents to the Panamanian.
Yeah, but the contract ran out. though.
Why was China starting to get in control of it? They've been putting up signs in Chinese, bro. If China's getting in control of it, do you think that's good long term for America?
Sir, like I said,
Well, Obama actually gave that to them. He gave the contract to protect it to China. He allowed that to happen. That was
Yeah, like no one knows that. I'm glad you said that because I'm tired of arguing. Honestly.
Wait, quick question. We just asked him anew. What's up, JD? What's up? I'm just saying, JD. What's up?
What's happening? Yes. So don't forget about Mexico. They're building their own Panama Canal with trains.
Yeah, China is.
No, Mexico is.
I know that. That person down there, she about business.
Yeah, but I don't
China-
think you guys understand what's going on. Like honestly, George got it right. But honestly, China is over there. They're over there in Mexico doing that. And honestly, the lady that's in charge in Mexico, I don't know if you saw the conspiracy on how she became president of
You
Mexico.
talking about Scheinbaum when they had about like 30-something daggone officials that were killed by the cartel?
Yeah,
during
like
that
do you
time?
guys not right? Does anybody see what's happening? Like, do you guys see? They
No,
tried to
because
unalive
you're
Trump
fed-
around the same time. They tried to unalive Trump around the same time too.
Look,
Like literally a month later, they tried to
Who
kill
is you
unalive
getting all this
Trump.
from?
When I was a young
Cartel
man-
trying to unalive Trump. What cartel?
Not the cartel, but there was 2 attempts on his life.
Okay, about Republican voters, rhinos,
No,
or
the
whatever.
Republican voters. The kid wasn't even old enough to vote for Trump. What are you talking about?
He was 20 years old.
I thought
Yeah,
it
but he
was
wasn't in a lot of BlackRock videos.
no. If he was 20 years old at the time,
Yeah.
no, stop. If he was 20 years old at the time,
He's a
by the time he was
registered
18, he
Republican,
couldn't vote for Trump.
Sir, he was a registered Republican, sir.
What
He
does-
was registered.
Bro, what does that mean?
First of all,
He was a Republican voter.
no. First of
That's what
all,
they
we
do.
can't say that. You
Okay,
can't
it was
say
all
that.
right.
You can't even say that that's a fact because honestly, all of his social media and all of his information was just blacked out, and there was nothing to find. That shows you right there that there's some conspiracy with that. That everything that they gave you in the media that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you even believe that?
Wait,
All
stop,
of his
stop.
phone
Another
data
thing-
and everything.
Another thing that is we don't know nothing about this dude. We don't know nothing about this dude. And during that same time, we couldn't have people stationed on the roof because of the slope. Like,
Right, right.
Do you think this dude?
And we still
do you
don't know
think
anything
just
about
like
this
a
guy.
regular
Yeah,
situation
exactly.
that just happened?
Yeah,
Right, don't you-
That was a dangerous. That was like 20-degree pitch.
Bro, see,
Yeah, I know, no
bro,
one
yo,
knows
that guy.
They would've held a
CNN
frisbee.
never.
I know it would have held a frisbee.
CNN never ran a Trump campaign thing at all. The
Oh,
only
right.
time CNN televised the Trump campaign was
Was
that
that
particular
day.
day.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Bro, like
Lord,
I'm not saying something. I'm not
You
saying
guys
something
have
was about to
all
happen,
this
but you're not gonna ask
evidence.
any questions. All this
You guys
stuff.
have all this evidence that the Democrats behind all this stuff, but none of y'all will bring none of this to court.
Well,
No, I don't say
None of y'all
I
will
got-
file none of
no.
this.
Future,
All
do
these
you
are
not? Does that
hypotheticals.
not sound
These are
suspicious?
hypotheticals.
These are not hypothetical. No, he said. Wait a minute. He said the word hypothetical.
Is
I don't
it-
know how you can use the word hypothetical with facts.
Wait,
the
does
fact
any
is,
of this sound
Why
suspicious to you,
won't you bring
Future?
this to the court, sir? Why don't you file this in the court?
What do you mean file it in the courts? What does that
Sir,
actually
if
mean?
you have all this evidence and all this conspiracy theory,
I'm
I'm
that
not saying
CNN
this is not even conspiracy.
was
This is
there on
literally
a
what
certain
happened.
day.
Democrats been
No,
eating
no,
I
up a
was on
lot
a
of
20-degree
conspiracy theories.
pitch.
No,
What
Future.
do
Listen,
you know that
listen.
the FBI don't know, sir?
This is
These are facts.
literally what they said. The Secret Service said that they didn't have anyone stationed on the roof because of the daggone slope. That DI hire said that. That the whole the
And-
person that
and-
was in charge of it. And they said
And-
they said that an officer went up the roof, saw the dude, and went back down. They also
Yeah.
said that before the thing, that daggone thing, he
were
was
yelling.
flying a drone around the area. Like
Yeah.
none of this is suspicious to you. You don't have any questions about wait,
And
why
a
was that
lot- and a
going
lot-
on?
and a lot of rally goers were telling the police, telling the Secret Service that they were there, that he was there before it happened. And then on top of that, his whole Secret Service was changed the day before. All of those people
Wasn't this dude in
were
a
changed.
BlackRock commercial?
Yes,
Yeah.
I said that he was in a BlackRock commercial. Absolutely.
Well, hey, listen here, man. Listen
No,
here.
I just know.
Listen
Do you have any
here.
questions about what's going on at all?
No, he doesn't.
Folks, check this out. Listen here.
Go
Personally,
ahead.
Future is brainwashed.
I wanna
Future
hear
is in a
Future.
cult.
I want to
Hey,
hear
ho.
Future's response. What's up,
hey,
Future?
host.
You're in a cult,
Personally,
man.
Personally, I think Donald Trump has hired the wrong people in his staff. All you guys
Absolutely.
could be in his staff putting together these theories that y'all are coming up with. Because the ones he
These are
got
not
from
theories. This is the reporting. This is what
These
they
ain't theories,
said.
these are facts.
This is the information.
These
This
are
is
facts.
the information that was reported. I'm not making. I will tell you when
How
I'm
do-
making up
how-
conspiracy theories. I will let
People
you
get
know.
upset
But
when
this is literally
you
what was
use your
reported to
facts.
us.
How can this be a theory if we are all saying the same thing and we don't know each other? Explain that.
I got
Because we
questions.
don't.
Why wasn't
Because
there
y'all
people?
done-
Why
y'all
wasn't
done
there
talked
people
to
on the
each other
roof?
about this already, sir. This
No, no.
already been talked amongst y'all.
Why wasn't there somebody on that roof?
Why was there someone on roofs?
Why
I don't
was there
know.
no?
Don't
Okay.
care.
You don't know that. Okay, I'll give you that. How come like people were seeing him fly a drone ahead of time and no one said any, like nothing happened?
If these people that saw him doing all this right here, saw him flying a drone suspiciously, they had the authority under law to contain, hold this person,
Well, that's
until the
well,
police
that's-
got there. They
well,
had the right to do that.
Well, that would be
That's
common
not-
sense, but why didn't they?
that's the whole question.
But
The question
he was
that-
MAGA voters, sir. He was MAGA voters.
No.
Another thing. CNN never televised anything from the Trump campaign except for that day. Explain that one for me. Just explain that one.
Yeah.
He's not, man. He's not.
CNN there, AP News, Breitbart, MSNBC.
How many rallies did Trump
And you know another thing.
If they're broadcasting Donald Trump talking on national TV, you know what I do? I turn the TV off.
I didn't
Yeah,
ask
well,
you
listen,
that. I asked you why
yes.
did they never advertise that? Why they
I
never play
don't
anything?
know. I can't answer that, sir.
You don't ask any questions about what happened during that
doesn't.
day.
He
don't have
doesn't.
any-
Like
You're
I
just-
said, like I said,
He
sir.
doesn't care. We're not going
this
to get
kid-
anywhere.
Why this kid want to make an attempt on Donald Trump, I don't know. But I think
Now, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you why.
I'm not saying I know
because
why
guys-
you want to make an attempt. I'm just saying we have.
I know
there's
why.
questions that need to be asked, bro. That's all I'm saying.
I can tell you. I can tell Future why. The reason why that kid was doing that is the same reason why so many people still call him Smittler, because your media was making Trump out to be something that he's not, and making him demonized for years. And then you guys were also during that whole time running him through courts and believe it or not, that whole thing actually backfired. Pardon the pun. But honestly, it backfired because it made the whole country actually look to the right like he did and see that the right was the way to go. Because it made him a hero.
No,
And he made
wait, quick thing. Yo, James,
iconic
what's up?
photograph.
Hey, Mal.
What's up?
What's like?
Is he trying to say it was staged?
It was the most iconic photograph you'll ever have by any president.
You trying to say I say
Was
this
somebody
stage?
trying to in here saying it was fake? Yeah.
I'm not saying it was staged. I'm saying all these coincidences just happen to happen, and no one's gonna ask any questions about it. Like they're saying that it was too slow, so we couldn't put anyone up there. They're saying that
Menace.
they saw the dude climb up there. An officer got in contact with him and then went back down. Like no one, like y'all don't have any questions about it at all.
I think
Menace, you know what the real
I
kicker
think
is? You know what the real
hit. I think it was a hit.
You know what the real kicker is, Menace? You
What's
know
up?
there's two kickers that are the major kickers to me. The number one is that BlackRock, like he said, he was in the commercial, but they also invested on his stock to crash. They invested. They did what do you call it? They put a short. Yeah, they put a big short on it, and then they demanded their money back when it didn't work out. And then on top of that, this is the other kicker to me, is that when they unalived him, all of a sudden all of his phones and all of his social media, everything was cleaned out, totally bleached out. Those two kickers right there tell me that it was an inside job and it was something to do with BlackRock and the liberal side. Because someone had to know, because CNN was there. Someone had to know.
I think that's very wrong when you putting out people like that right there, sir.
I'm not. If it was
in danger.
no, but listen. But if it was your party, if it was your president,
Sir, if it was Barack Obama,
no, if it was Kamala Harris or
if someone hates him enough to go out and do that, sir,
No. Wait, check this out. You tell me this. They knew that guy was up there on the roof, but yet they allowed Trump to still go out there. How come?
because his Secret Service was changed on him, and those guys were compromised too. They were compromised.
DEI Secret Service at that time.
Yeah,
that girl
DEI
that was trying to put the gun away. Come on now.
Yes, they weren't even there to protect him. They were there to just take his body away. They were hoping he was going to be unalived.
That's right. They should have never let him go out there to speak.
Yeah, that like if you really look at the facts, like if it was one of the Democrats and this happened to them, they would still be talking about it. Because they talk about J6 like that was a real thing. That was another stage thing too.
But they don't
Like,
stop bringing up
What did the cop
J6.
say to the guy? Hey, that's a nice Barrett. What are you doing up here on the roof with that?
Yeah, like they don't shut up about J6 at all.
But I don't understand a cop go up
What happened to Ray Epps?
Yeah, they don't talk. Well,
Cop
Ray
go
Epps
up
actually
to
gets
the
charged
roof
now.
with that
The
Barrett, son.
cop climb up on the
Oh,
building,
yeah?
see a kid with a rifle, and they say, "Oh, you just go ahead and mind your own business."
But let me ask you a question. If I was to
You
go,
don't find that suspicious?
let me ask you a question. If I was to go in your house, Future, right? I was to go in your house and I was to steal everything from your house, and the police arrest me and they don't find anything that I had in the bag. They can't give you anything back. They don't have any information, and all the police are outside saying, "Well, you know, we arrested him, but we don't have anything for you."
How can I fault you then, sir?
No, I'm just saying it's the same thing. It's like
How can I fault you?
how do you have no evidence on someone that literally lives on social media?
Bro, they deleted his page, bro. Like, why was like every time something happens, like we find out everything about these individuals when they do some crazy thing. But certain times they will keep the person's information clean. When it's a transmission that goes to school with them banks, we don't know nothing about it. They keep their manifesto locked up. But if it's like someone that like, okay, like, come on, we know that individual did. They're like, oh, we'll put all his information out there. They have a whole dissertation about everything from the day he was born. Like, they have all the stuff. But
this
They immediately cleaned up the crime scene.
yeah, this goes back to my original.
Man, just tell me where can I get this
Yo,
wine?
hold on.
Bro,
This
you
goes
just-
back.
Kool-Aid y'all drink. What
Hold on,
store can
Future.
I buy this in?
But
But that
Future,
was-
hold on,
you
a second.
respect y'all feeling.
Hold on, Future. You're not even making. You're not even accepting a real statement. Like I'm saying to you, what if it was your party that happened to you? But again, like I said to you before, like this shows that they wanted to create a country that was gonna just be imploding from within. They brought all these gang members from Venezuela and all of this in this country. And that you can call me a conspiracy theorist, but they were trying to destroy this country. It seems they were letting people go in people's apartments and take over their like. There's so many things that I can list. It was the worst administration ever, and you guys want to sit there and say that Trump is worse than that? Anything Trump
Sir,
can
you
do
talk about a
is better than what
building,
happened.
nobody
before.
living in that place until them Venezuelans got here.
Are you kidding me?
No,
I
I'm
can't
not.
believe your mind works.
Cannot.
I can't believe
I
you
got-
wipe your butt.
Was the building not condemned? Was the building not condemned by the city?
You cannot deny the fact that
Right,
under
what-
the Biden administration, more people came into this country than ever before.
Yeah.
I told these guys earlier, yes, I agree to that. And then let me tell you another thing that I totally disagree with. There's 21 million illegal immigrants here. That's the whole city of New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Dallas, Texas combined.
I got
That's 21.
I got a
Hold
question.
on,
No, wait. What does that say?
Wow,
Can you-
wow,
No,
wow.
I'll let you finish. I just want to
Sorry,
see what does
I
that
didn't know
say.
it was you, I'm sorry.
What does that say, right quick?
But new body cam video shows. I can't see it all.
New body
It's
cam
today.
shows moments the police officer saw Trump shooter just before assassination attempt.
Yeah, that's what the guy said earlier. That's what Map said earlier. He walked up, he got a ladder, went up on top of the building.
That's not, bro.
And-
You read that and you don't find that suspicious at all. You don't have any questions like, wait. They saw this dude and no one did
That's
anything.
That's a mighty fine Barrett you got out there. What's chambered in it?
You
Like,
gotta.
I'm just saying, when this stuff happens, do you even ask the question about it?
That's what I'm starting to learn. I'm starting to learn that the liberal.
No, sir. Long
the
as
Demo-
you're not pointing at me, I do not care for it.
Well, I'm
If
just
it
saying-
ain't
I'm
pointing
just
at
saying
me,
that-
I care
That don't
for it,
make
sir.
no
Future,
sense.
you're not
I know
making
y'all
sense.
feel the same way.
You're being a narcissist, man. You
No,
cannot.
I'm
You
not,
cannot.
sir. If it's not pointing at you, or do you really
That's
do it?
not- that's-
What you're doing
That's
is just
what-
turning a blind eye, man. You
I'm not
don't
turning a
make no
blind
sense.
eye, sir. Sir, when
No,
you
you're a terrible person, man. You're a terrible
Okay,
person.
then,
Yeah.
sir. According to
No,
you, but you don't know.
he's-
what
And
you're
you're the
doing.
kind of
person that
Let's
I
not
would-
do
I
personal
wouldn't want
attacks,
that
y'all.
person like
No, I'm not
around me,
saying
so I
personal
know.
attacks, but
He's
he's
not
being
terrible. He's just
narcissist. He doesn't
confused.
care
I would
about.
not want a guy
You
like
go
that
around and
with me
start
because
pissing
a
off
guy
the
like
wrong
that does not
You
have
go
your
at
back.
some people feel-
Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
care about anyone
Y'all
but
stop,
himself.
y'all
Like-
talking
that
over,
guy-
y'all talking over each other. Y'all talking over each other. Y'all talking over
Okay,
each
but
other.
I'm just saying he doesn't care about any. I'm not trying to attack him, but he doesn't care about anyone but himself, and that's how most of these Democrats act. They only care about themselves. Like they'll eat their own. They're literally cannibals. Like
Sir, okay, ma'am.
Yeah, they care about an agenda.
Ma'am.
A narrative.
I need my light bill paid next month. If you care about me, you'll send me $530.
no, that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. I'm talking about
I'm not
having
talking- we're talking
empathy.
about your life.
I'm talking about having empathy for people. I'm talking about empathy. I can feel bad for you for having a light bill without giving you the money. But you're talking about you don't care about people if they're not on your party, you don't care. That's not cool.
Map blocks in your
Are
thoughts
you
and prayers.
joking? Are you joking, ma'am? You got to be really joking on it.
Yeah, I'll give you a check with my thoughts and prayers. Yeah, I'll give you a check with my
Yeah,
thoughts.
that's what I'm saying. You got to be
You're
really
an
joking. You think
you're an
I don't
older
have
gentleman,
beef for someone? I
right?
don't know. Wait, I don't
Yeah.
know how you think you know me.
Oh, let George talk for a second. I'm not attacking
I have a
you.
question for you,
I'm
Future,
apologizing.
honestly.
Hold on, Future. Let me just say this real quick. Future, I'm not trying to attack you, but I'm just saying to you honestly, you sound like a person that cares only about yourself. And George has something to say, so just think about what I just said. I do apologize. I'm a nice person. I really am. I've helped people that I've seen on the street having heart attacks, car accidents, all kind of things. I just stopped my car and help. I love people.
I care for 36 years of marriage and 4 kids, and all of them are grown, and all 4 of them work for a living. That's how much I care. Nobody.
God bless you.
Yeah, but
Hey, I
That's your
respect
family. That's
that.
kind of
The
an
institution,
obligation.
the
You know what?
Democrats
In
are
them
too busy
36
Yeah, that's an
attacking
obligation.
families and
That's
the
a
institution of marriage too much.
And you know them 36 years of marriage, my wife never worked a job. Never. She never worked.
That's your wife, though. That's not. That's
Yeah,
not
but that's
someone you
a
don't-
choice.
But
That's
I
a
don't
choice.
care though. Most men like me, and according to him, wouldn't sit up and do nothing like that.
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said at all.
Yeah, but
You
that's
see, I don't
comparing
care.
apples to
You see, I don't
oranges.
care for nobody else but myself.
Bro, okay,
No,
okay.
no,
Hey, yo,
that's not
yo,
what
yo.
I-
Let's move on from this. Let's move on from
Let's
this.
move on. Let's
Actually,
move on.
to be
But
honest,
Yeah, let's get past it.
it's like
You just
1
don't care
o'clock for
about
me
anyone.
right now.
out
Hey,
of
yo,
your
y'all
circle.
cool,
man.
y'all cool peoples. I'm about to close the live, but if y'all want to say something, go ahead and say it now. Hey, yo, we might disagree, but hey, yo, I still like to hear other people's opinion because, like, I still think we need to still have some dialogue in America because if we stop talking, then the real crazy people get in control and shit.
Now, I have a
Yeah, I just
question
want to
for
say
Future real
thank you
quick.
for the live.
All right, you good, bro? You got anything you want to say, Future? Because you was the opposition for this time period.
I hope y'all have enough things in y'all pantry to get y'all through what we finna go through. I hope y'all got enough saved up and stored away because it's finna get rough on America. Because we got a filthy
Absolutely.
office.
I concur with that.
Okay.
I have a question for you,
We
sir.
got a filthy in office that can't even run a set of crayons.
We're not gonna.
I'm guessing that you're
I'm not
around
gonna
my
reply
age.
because I need to go to sleep soon. I'm gonna just let that was like. If you come back tomorrow, I might be running it tomorrow, and I could reply to that. But I gotta go to sleep. So like, be real quick, y'all. Before
All right, thank you, host.
Future, I got
Alright,
a quick
bro.
question for you before you go. You seem like you're about my age. You're in your 50s, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know who Malcolm X is?
Yeah, I know who Malcolm X was.
Have you ever read anything that he put out or watched the movie or anything?
are you talking about the
Nope.
time when he said those conservatives might not be on our side, but them damn liberals are not on your side either? They're just crafty about it. They're just a little bit more sinister than the Republicans and stuff.
Could you name me one time Malcolm X came to the South? Can you name one time Malcolm X came to the South and spoke?
I could look it up for you. I don't know off the top of my
He was
head.
in prison,
Never,
right?
he never. Let me do it for you.
When he
never
was
came
in
to
prison
the
there?
southern states. He never came to Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia. He never came to these states.
Did Malcolm?
When was there liberals? When was there liberals in the South when Malcolm X was speaking in the North?
It says
Back
yes.
then-
They were
wait,
calling
stop.
him all kinds of nasty
Yes,
in
things.
the
wait, quick
40s,
thing.
Like everybody-
Yes, Malcolm X traveled to and worked in the South. He organized temples for the Nation of Islam in various cities, including the
Islam.
in the
Oh,
South.
wow.
He also made it to a trip to North Carolina and visited Charlotte. He accepted an invitation of invitation from the Student Nonviolent Coordination Committee to speak in Selma, Alabama. So he did go to the South.
Okay, then. So Muslim is the same ones that y'all can't, that the Republican Party can't stand. They rather side with a Jewish person than a Muslim person.
I rather side with
Oh.
neither. I rather side with
Wow.
Americans.
Wow. Okay, then let me say this right here, and I'll let you go, my man.
What's up?
Right now, the United States are helping Israel, which is a Jewish state, fight against Palestine. Is a Muslim state.
Do we not send them aid to Palestine?
Why would you send aid to a country when you have another?
We're literally funding both sides of the war.
But you paying one country to destroy.
I can
and
answer
you paying
that.
One country to
I can
destroy.
answer
and
that.
one country to eat.
Bro,
That makes sense. Dude.
I'm gonna say this. You know what? I don't want to get on here and start defending Israel. Then people start saying, "Oh, you're pro-Israel." I don't care. I'm pro-American. I don't think we should be involved in any other country's BS.
Thank you.
That-
Thank
like,
you.
Why do we
I don't
set up
want my tax
democracy?
dollar going over there.
I agree with you, big dog. 100%. We on the same page. I'm just saying. But if you're gonna attack a country and then they put the butt whooping on you, don't get mad.
Real
I
quick,
agree.
why do we set up democracies across the world when we ourselves are a constitutional republic?
We said
Because they're
democracy to
easy
keep
to
the
control.
U.S. dollar. We want to keep the U.S. dollar circulating around the world. It's all for economic interest. That's
Influence
the
in the
real
US
reason.
dollar.
Yes, sir.
But I gotta
Influence.
go. I gotta go.
You
I
are
gotta
correct,
go.
sir.
I
Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
having me up and shut the live down. I don't want to bounce.
All right, then. Y'all
All
have
right,
a good
man.
night.
Appreciate you. Send me a follow. I'm sending you one right now.
Okay, I got you, bro.